So in this video, I'm going to give you an overview of how to navigate through the different parts of the course. And in this case, I'm able to show you this year's course as it is set up, which is different from how it has been set up in the past. So you'll see that the screen looks a little bit different in terms of colors from some of the screens that have been in the other videos. I'm also using a different preview mode, which makes it difficult for me to get up to this corner and click on that global navigation. But if you were to go to your class in the global navigation button up here, this is what it will look like. So I'm just going to go through the different areas that you'll see. When you first land on the page, you will see the announcements page. And it's important to recognize that there are a couple of things at the top of the announcements page that you need to scroll past in order to get to the announcements. At the beginning of the year, this will just be here as a reminder, and then once we get into a bit of a routine, you will no longer see this part of the announcements page. But just as a reminder, early on in the year that I will post announcements on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, and then on short weeks I'll usually only post 2 announcements. This is where you come when you want to find out what is going on in the course, what you need to do, what expectations for work and for assignments are coming up. It's sort of like your daily or your lesson plan. And you should also be referring to the course calendar so that you can see due dates coming up on the calendar itself. Another item that's here on the page is my Twitter feed, and I have a Twitter feed where I post regularly just stories of interest, and some of them may be used for different tasks that we do in the course, but other ones might be just good sources for you to be reading about the kinds of things that are going on that may or may not be useful in terms of concepts and understanding concepts. So for example, course resources, you might want to post a story that illustrates a concept, and you can probably find some good stories by scrolling through this Twitter feed. And if you want to see it on Twitter, you can click here and that will give you a larger view. But just as a reminder, it's here on the announcements page so that you can refer to it whenever you want. If we go over to this left-hand menu on the side, and if you don't see it on the side, there may be buttons that you need to click to make sure that it's visible. But generally speaking, as a default, it is visible. And it has a number of sections. So the announcements link brings you back to this announcement page. If you click on Contact Ms. Rice, you'll get all of my contact information, and you will also have some other features. For example, my calendar, which tells you when I'm available, when I'm teaching class, when I am otherwise occupied. Obviously in August there's not much going on yet, but as you see later in September, you'll be able to see classes and things that I am currently involved in. So if you need to get hold of me, you'll want to see whether or not I'm available. Otherwise, expect a bit of a delay if you email me. And then all of the other information about my contact. In the next bit down here, course information provides you with various bits of information about the course itself, including a copy of the welcome document and again, calendar that helps you find when I'm busy. There's also a link here to the full document about the course and various details about the course. So it's a little bit more technical. The course calendar is really important, so please make sure that you refer to it frequently. All of the due dates for assignments and tasks will be posted. You can toggle different calendars that are available to you on and off in order to see what's coming up. Obviously, again, nothing yet here, but you will be able to see it when it becomes populated once things get going for the year. And you can also view it in different modes. So you can view it as a week, you can view it as a day. I suggest viewing it as a month. And then you can also connect it to, if you have iCalendar or a Google Calendar, you can import it so that it appears on your own personal calendar. Further down, we start getting into the units. So each of these units has a link to the unit content, and there will also be for each unit a link to the resources for that unit, and then later when the assignment becomes available, there will be a link there too. So if you click on this link, for example, it takes you into our current unit, the one that you're working on right now, Learning in the Online World. Hopefully you've already found it, or you wouldn't have found this video, so I don't really need to show you much more than this. But again, as you work through different signposts in the unit, more content will open up, and you'll be able to continue through once you've done things like complete tasks or complete quizzes. The resources can be accessed through here, and very specific to each unit. You can find the Unit 1 resources. Again, you would click into the resource section and then find the post and add to it as you do your own research for the topics for each of the unit subject areas. So all of the units are here, including the summative project. And again, as you move through the course, more content will become available to you. So right now, you'll just be able to see an outline for each of the units. Further down are the class activity pages, and this is where you'll go in order to access these elements without having to go into the units themselves. So there are, for example, the resources has its own discussion board, but that's part of the bigger discussion board section. Here we go. That allows you to see all of the discussion boards as they become available. And again, instructions are in the units themselves, and there's usually just an outline of what you need to do in each of the discussion boards. And then again, as you continue, more items will open up and become available to you. Blogs, similarly, click on the blogs section, and you will see the blogs that are available to you. And again, the instructions are within the unit itself, as well as the rubrics. I've just included this one here so you can see it. If you're having difficulty seeing things, make sure that you're clicking, for example, on this arrow here, shows and hides instructions. This arrow here shows and hides the different parts of the links that you can use to access other people's blogs and see blogs. You've got your Create Blog Entry button. So those are the tools that you might use to see everything and contribute to those different activities. There's also a link here to the Blackboard Collaborate Classroom. The next section down is the Assessment and Evaluation section, and there are some notes here on grading policies and information that you need to know about submitting assignments and how assignments are marked. And there is also a shortcut to your grades. There won't be anything in there now, but as we progress through the year, you'll be able to see the feedback on different tasks and elements. And remember that you should always make sure to click on anything like a little speech bubble that shows you comments as well as just the numbers that appear here. And then finally, the last thing is this Blackboard Tools. And this gives you a direct link to a variety of different tools that you could use. Some of the ones that might be useful to you are the roster that helps you see who all is in the class, and also the send email feature that helps you to email someone if you don't know their email, and you can choose whether you're going to select a group or an individual to email to, and that is just a handy way to contact anyone in the class. And so hopefully now you've got a better sense of how everything is laid out on the screen when you log into the course.